Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another presentation of the RLSA Today. I am your host, Chase, followed alongside my good friend Ashatoon. How
Yo,
we doing?
clearly a good friend. You can't pronounce my name. No, doing
Yeah, I know,
good, doing
dude.
good.
Well, good to have you with us today. We have a lot in store for today's episode. And I guess just to get right into it, we can go ahead and talk about week two
Yes,
recap.
sir.
Of course, we're always going to recap on the previous week, but week two had some interesting things go on. So, I mean, anything really stand out to you, Ashton?
Yeah, I thought week two it was good because we got to see a lot of teams and what they're really made of. Because it's really hard to compare one week when teams aren't playing each other and you don't have enough reference points. It's really hard to see how good teams actually are. And so I think honestly, week two it shed a lot of light on these teams, how good they are, and I think we learned a lot more about a lot of these teams. I won't delve too deep into it because we're going to get into the meat of it later on. But I'm just gonna say I think as the weeks progress, we're learning more about these teams, about these players, because there's a lot of new. So it's very exciting, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. And just to give a brief recap on the actual score lines here, um, obviously one of the first matchups there, Volts Fire. Volts
Hmm.
won it in a dominating fashion, 4-1.
Yeah.
And then you look over to the Riot Quantum game. Quantum take that in six. So good victory there for them. Bobcats and Defenders, game seven. That was interesting to
Yeah.
watch live if you were there, but Bobcats handled business there in game seven. And then the Eradicators have a very dominating sweep against the Amigos. We'll get more into that later on. And then Bandits and Stars. Bandits easily sweep the Stars there 4-0. And then Elite Landers. That was actually a really good series. We got to see, but Elite won that 4-2. So overall, really good RLSA
Yeah.
week, and good for these teams that get the wins. Some teams obviously now 0-2, which is rough, but again, we'll get all into that later. But moving on, because week two it was a little bit more quiet, but there was something that did go down.
Sure.
And I mean, Team Fire made a trade. Ashton,
Yep.
go over this trade.
Well, it was a little bit surprising in the sense of, oh, we weren't necessarily expecting a trade right now. It wasn't surprising after the fact, but I'll break down the trade details for you guys. So, the Fire, they acquire Caleb and they send away Gara and a season 15 pick. So, I think this is a painful trade for the Fire to make, and I'll give my reasoning why. I think it's a good trade, but it's painful because this is a guy that they just had on their roster, but they left him exposed in the reserve slot, thinking they had a wealth of riches on their roster. And then I think it was the Defenders came in, made a reserve claim on him because the Defenders needed help. And I think the Defenders ended up swapping him over to the Riot, and then now he's back on the Fire. So Caleb has been jumping around teams. I think he's been involved in four
Four,
four
four
transactions.
transactions.
Yeah. So it's been it's been hectic for him for sure. I believe he's found his home though, because I think he's a good player. I think he's better than his MMR says he is. But we are finally going to be able to go ahead and see that. And yeah, the Fire they do pay the price because yes, maybe Gara wasn't performing as well, but he's still a player. He's an asset that they had to give up, and they had to spend a pick to ship him off to the Riot, and that can end up being expensive. You have no idea what this team is going to look like next season. That season 15 pick could be very high. So I think for the Riot, yes, they gain a player who's 100 MMR less than Caleb, but the Riot they're going to get this pick and they're going to get a guy who's not even starting for them. He's just their sub. So I think it's a win for the Riot. I think the Fire are a loser of the trade, just the trade though. The result of the trade is that the Fire are going to be a better team. So I think it's worth it. It's worth it in the end. And of course, we'll actually see if that's the case. But the way I look at it is the Fire, they paid a heavy price to aggressively improve their team. And the thing that stood out to me is that we are heading into week 3, and the Fire already were unhappy with Gara to the point that they went out and shipped him off, sent a pick as well just to get rid of him so that they could get Caleb, a guy that they already had on their roster, a guy they valued so much to keep him on the reserve slot. So I think a little bit head scratching as far as like the management side there. But if we're talking just personnel side, great trade for the Fire. They're going to get a better player. Chase is going to get some more help, which he definitely needs. And I think in season 12, the Fire, they stood pat with their roster essentially the whole season, and they weren't that great of a team. I think the Fire have a little bit of a sense of desperation to get Chase over that hump to win another championship, because there's a question of, is he ever going to win a championship again? The competition has never been better. It's never been this difficult to win a championship. I think season 10 onward, it's been incredibly difficult to win because there's more teams, there's better players, it's competitive. Not to say it was easy back then, because it was competitive, but there were less teams, and there were more seasons more frequently. So I think it's difficult to win now. So I think this is a very important trade. It's aggressive, but I think it's going to be good for both of these squads.
Absolutely. I mean, I have inside word from Rex27 himself, and just to kind of get in a little bit deeper scoop of that trade, there was some just overall locker room issues. You do have to remember that. But not only that, something that Rex pointed out, and obviously, being in the midst of that, he was like, if we're ever going to make a trade, you got to do it now, because you got to get comfortable with someone, right?
Oh, of course.
So if we didn't have the trust in Gara, it was time to ship now to get the player that we actually thought we could have used. And especially when you look at just overall the picture of Fire, I mean, there was a lot of hate towards Gara from the whole league. I mean, this is a guy that's not
deserved, though, by the way, not deserved.
Not deserved necessarily, but at the same time, that you can't control that. And I think at the same time, Rex was like, okay, I got to take charge of my team here. He made the trade. It was aggressive, but at the end of the day, Gara found his way onto Riot's roster, and Rex knew at some point it's either now or never, right? And so he decided to pull the trigger on it, and I guess we'll see what goes on from there.
Yeah, and Chase, what I'll say is, purely from a statistical and performance standard, the Fire had every right to move on from him, even this early, because if you look through the stats, he's bottom 3 in goals per game. He's bottom 3 in assists per game. He's bottom 5 in saves per game, not as bad. Shots per game doesn't matter as much, obviously, but he's bottom 3 in shots per game. The thing that really sticks out is he's the second worst player in the league as far as score per game. So the impact he's having on the pitch, he's averaging 328 points per game. The only player worse than that right now is Echo, and Echo's week 2 stats haven't been recorded. His week 2 stats are still floating out there right now. If anyone can get a hold of Caleb J for the replays, let me know. But just to put it into perspective, his MMR is not bottom 3. He should be performing better than what he has. He's been, relative to what his price is on paper, he's not been performing up to expectations. So I think the Fire had every right to move on from him.
Yeah, I mean, I have no comment on that. So.
Sure. We can move on.
Let's go ahead and do that. Well, what do you got next for us, Ashton? What do you think?
Yeah, well, obviously it's been good. I think the next phase is moving into. Are we doing Player of the Week? Are we doing that?
I mean, we'll go over brief. Like, what's a player that stood out to you? I mean, you could go off the stats, or you could just go off the eye test.
Here's what I'm gonna say. Is, to me, it has a lot to do with the team, but the player that stood out to me the most was What's G, and to me, I think he proved his capabilities out there on the pitch today. It was like a strange week 1 This is a team that I was high on going into the season, and after week 1, it had my head a little bit like, I don't know. I was kind of scratching my head a little bit. I don't know about this team. I even moved them down in my power rankings because of it. But What's G completely turned it around. And he, to me, outside of program having another outstanding performance, he, to me, was such a special player this week. And it was really important for him to turn it around and get a win. And it's not like the Landers were some pushover team either. They weren't playing a bottom 2, bottom 3 team. They were playing a decent, like middle of the pack, good test team, a team they should beat, really. So to me, What's G is the player who surprised me the most as far as turning it around from that abysmal week 1 performance.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see that within what she actually. I do want to bring out honorable mention just because I love this guy so much. I had Under actually. I thought Under was the better player in that series. I think Under has proven himself to be a solidified, just overall consistent, great player in this league.
Okay.
I think he's honestly the one that had, or he was the reason why Elite won that series. But
Yeah.
that's for another discussion. That's my honorable mention. I think the number 1 player of the week for me is going to be Eli or Mr. E.
Mr.
I think
E.
what he's doing on Quantum right now is just, that's what you expected, and that's what Cameronius, the manager, was expecting. That's why he brought him in, and he is out. I mean, he is performing fantastically, offensively, defensively. Obviously, that's a team. Like as a team, they could work on that, but we saw him pull it together there in 6 games against a Riot team. So, I mean, very, very well done from Eli. But I think just quick little player of the week. It's kind of nice. But
So Mr.
let's go ahead.
and What's G is who we have.
Mr. E and What's G.
Well,
is our
what I want to
players of the
say
week.
briefly, James, before we move on, I normally disagree with your takes because they're usually bad. But Mr. E, if it weren't for a guy named Program, Mr. E would be Rookie of the Season. This guy has been playing lights out. I think he's been phenomenal. I think it would be between him and Irate right now, potentially to win Rookie of the Year. But obviously, Program's having himself a nice season, as everyone knows. So, but I just want to say I agree with you. Shout out to Mr. E. Shout out Eli. Been playing good.
All right. Okay. I was random stray, but okay.
Right.
Let's go ahead and move into our power rankings for this upcoming week 3. Obviously, it seems like a lot definitely changed within both of our rankings. I could feel. I mean, obviously, I don't know what yours is.
You'll find out, bro. You'll find out.
I'll find out.
There's movement.
But
we'll say there's movement.
Yeah, I was about to say there should be some movement going into this week 3. So go ahead and start us off. Who is in your number 1 spot, Ashton?
All right, it's pretty simple. My number 1 spot does not change. It's the Eradicators, and to me, I made an emphasis. I made 2 points for each team, really, that encapsulates their rankings. I would say for the Eradicators, Monk is dominant. He's such a good player. He's dominant. He led them to a sweep this week. Every time he's out there on the pitch, they're probably going to win. He is dominant, and I think they're the number 1 team until proven otherwise. So they're the team to beat right now in the league.
I mean, you've said it week in, week out. So, I mean, not much to really debate on you there. Yep. And I say the same thing for my number 1. It hasn't changed since week 2. The Volts are number 1, dominating performance in week 2, and they just only continue to get better, right? That was their second time playing together, is what they said, and now you go into week 3, probably get a little bit more practice in. I mean, this team is just looking unstoppable right now. And honestly, for me, when you do mention the Eradicators, I just feel like at some point, what else can Monk do against a powerful team? Like it's a two-way punch, right? Beat them. But I mean, hey, we'll see when they play. But that's my number 1. Well, who's your number 2?
I'm not going to get into semantics with you because my number 2 is the Volts. Like they're just as good as the Eradicators in my opinion. Like I think that I view them right up there with them. To me, it's the Eradicators aren't going to move until proven otherwise, right? And for me, the Volts are right there with them. So, and I think for the Volts, you're okay with that. You're going to get a top 2 seed. But for me, Program's Rookie of the Season, far and away. He's an MVP contender, let alone Rookie of the Season. And the first round bye is theirs to lose. I say that in the same with the Eradicators too. First round bye is these two teams to lose. I think they've a little bit separated themselves here, and I kind of am drawing a line after these two teams as far as like the upper echelon, the standard of teams. So
Yeah.
that's what I have.
And go ahead and put me right there with you. I have the Eradicators at 2. Not much else to be said except Monk is just doing his thing. Again, we still are questionable about his appearances, but at the end of the day, he's appeared both weeks, and Eradicators play good. I mean, what else can you say?
Yeah.
So, yeah. They're at my number 2. So, who's your number 3?
No movement for me at number 3. It's going to remain the Bobcats, and my reason for this is there's been a lot of movement below the Bobcats, but obviously you get lucky in week 1 with a coin flip win. Week 2, not the greatest match. You go to 7 against the Defenders. We'll get into it later. I don't think the Defenders are that bad of a team. So I still think the Bobcats, they have a lot to prove. They need to prove it still. And they're going to get better, obviously. So I think the talent is there. What about the focus? I need the focus of this team to improve. I need them to be more locked in, because I think if they take everything a little bit more seriously, that Defenders game is closed out in 5 pretty easily. I think if they take it a little more seriously. So I just want to see a little bit more focus from this Bobcats team. I can't rightfully include them in that upper echelon with the Eradicators and Volts because they haven't proven anything to me, but I do still think they're the third best team.
It's a fair placement, right? You don't lose in week 2, so they stay right where they are. And I mean, that's fair. I can definitely agree. But my number 3 goes a completely different direction. And obviously, there's probably, I'm throwing a little bit of bias in here. But I have Team Fire. I think that trade just makes them a lot better overall. I mean, morality-wise, I think also you think of just pure skill now. There's a big upgrade in that. And I think at the end of the day, that's my team, so I can't really go much into it. But Team Fire number 3 for me.
Yeah, well, like I said, no movement for me. So Team Fire's at 4, and again, we're talking like just one position difference. We essentially agree on the Eradicators, Volts, and Fire being like 3 really good teams. So to me, I'm kind of in the same vein as you. I look at it, Fire. They make a big trade over the weekend to improve. And then on top of that, my biggest point for this team, Chase will get better. This is not the Chase that we're going to see in week 9, week 10, week 11, and into the playoffs. No, Chase is going to get better, and this trade, I think, catapults them even further. So on paper, this team is capable of being in the ranks of the Eradicators and the Volts of the world. This is a good team, but they still have a lot to prove, in my opinion. So I have them at 4.
Yeah, and kind of, I mean, they only flip one spot for me too, but at my number 4, I have the Bobcats.
Explain the swap. Explain that too as well.
I think it was more of well, there's bias seats. I mean,
fair, but
okay. But the real reason you think about it, Fire do improve, right? Their loss was against, in my book, the best team. So you got to look at it that way. But at the same time, Bobcats, they don't show up week 1, sure.
They tried.
But they tried, but whatever. Then week 2, you see they're showing against a weak defense. I mean, yes, they played good, but still at the same time, it's a weak Defenders team. They're on decent, paper 450 MMR better, and you go to Game 7.
No, it's
and
fair.
I think, here's the thing: they still won at the end of the day. I think this is a very good comparison to the Fire and Amigos. I think in week 1, when you think about it, the good teams still find a way to edge out a win, even if the series is bad. Yeah. For that team, and I think the Bobcats did eventually find a way to win, obviously in dominating fashion there, but at the same time, you still had an awful performance. I mean, you lost 10-1 in one of those games. So
yeah, but Chase, that's their first week. That's their first game of the season, Chase. That was their go to 7 with the Amigos. I understand you're high on the Amigos, but they're not a good team. They're just not, and we'll get into that later. But this is This was their week 1 match. They didn't get a week 1 match.
Sure, this is their week 1 match, but you still go to game 7 against a weaker team. It's in everybody's bottom 3, right? And so I think if you're gonna be, I mean, obviously there's bias coming out of you because you're a Bobcats manager, but
of course.
this is we're butting heads here. But
I just
at the
don't
end of the
explain
day,
swapping them when the Fire lost this week. Not a great look. The Bobcats got the job done, and then they swapped.
not a great look though.
No, I'm
They're
just
not.
curious.
It's still not a great look, and Fire improved after this. So it just
Got an SEC voter over here, bro.
All right, who's in your number 5, bro?
My number 5 spot is a team that has impressed me so much every single week, and I did them dirty going into the preseason. I didn't believe. I'm a believer now. Give me Quantum at 5. This is a good team. Mr. E.
Let's go.
Mr. E is his second best rookie this season, right? And it's only to an anomaly in program. This guy, Mr. E, Eli, goes crazy every series he's in, and everyone loves him from what I can tell. Everyone loves him within the community. Seems like a really good guy, and I'm happy he's playing really well. They have a super dangerous offense, right? I think that's the thing people notice about them is they score a lot. They have a really dangerous offense, but can their defense match it? That to me is the big question for them. Can the defense play at the caliber that their offense does? And yes, I love Mr. E. I love you, boy Derp. I think they're a great duo. But I think in order for them to continue moving forward, you got to keep in mind Quantum, they haven't really played the best competition yet. They've had a relatively easy schedule so far.
They'll have a challenge this week, though.
They'll have a big challenge this week, and we'll get into that. But I do really like Quantum. For me, they move up to 5. They jump up 2 spots. That's where I have them.
And you know what? Throw my thing up there because I have been a believer since beginning of the season, and they have only proved me even more right. Quantum at my number 5. And I also would like to mention, I mean, Eli, playing lights out. I mean, this guy is unreal. But at the same time, like you said, the community loves him. He might be in contender for the Ulix Payton of the Year award. You never know. You never know. But Eli, love that dude. He's playing lights out. You can. I don't think anybody can physically hate this Quantum team except for the map that they play on. So,
true, fair enough.
We might have to switch some things up. But that will go into the talks. That will go to the executives. So we'll figure that out for the players. But at the end of the day, Quantum at number 5. They look unreal. Only good more things to come out of them. But they will get tested this week against the Eradicators. So we'll go more into that as we talk about our predictions. But who's in your number 6, Ashton?
Give me the Elite. Man, I believed in them going into the season, and yes, I dropped them because it was a concerning week 1. But to me, they moved back up 2 spots to this 6th position. And for me, it's simple. What's G? Finally figured it out. Under is a veteran. He's been here. He's going to be good. He is going to be a stable level throughout the season, in my opinion. What's G is the difference maker. If he plays good, Elite are going to win matches. It's as simple as that. And to me, they figured it out. It clicked for him. So, yes, bad week 1, great week 2. Look for them to continue this moving forward. The team is really skilled, and now they're confident and they're dangerous.
Yeah, I think that's a fair place to put them, but I know you're going to debate me heavy on this. In my number 6 spot, I have the Amigos. And not only that, but I'm going to use your reasoning on why I have them here. If you're going to say, well, this is Chris and Zev's first time playing together, why are you moving the Bobcats down? This was Caleb J and Jaden's first time playing together. So, and not only that, yes, they did get swept, but this is against your number 1 team, the Eradicators.
Fair.
And I think the Amigos, it could have been an off day, you never know, but I still think on paper and what I've personally seen out of the Amigos, I think this is still a very solid team that just needs time to work it out. And I think Carson, as one of the best managers of all time.
Chill.
All right, I'm gonna stop that.
Chill, son.
But Carson knows what he's doing. I still think, again, we still talk about Jaden. If Jaden doesn't work out, throw Pure Motos in there. We'll see what happens. I mean, obviously that might make a little bit of a weaker team, but I still think this Amigos team just they haven't done like enough for me to drop them down. I think they're. I still think like this is a week where okay, yes, you have a rough week 2, but it's against good competition and it's your first time playing. If things don't go right against the Volts now this week, like if you can't even put up a hand against the Volts, then I don't know what we're doing here. But I still think they're at my number 6 spot. I think they're solidified themselves still as a solid team.
Big disagree, but we move forward.
Well, who's in your number 7?
My number 7, I have the Landers. And this is a team you're going to know, Chase. I've been high on the Landers this season. And this week, they didn't give me a lot of reason to be high on them. They lost to a team that struggled badly in week 1. But the way I look at it was this is an elite team that kind of realized their potential. It wasn't necessarily like, oh, we just played a bad team and lost to them. No, the elite are a good team. They just had a little hiccup in week 1. To me, the Landers, like I said, good team. They are in a similar spot to the Bobcats where they need to take it more serious and give it more focus. Okay? I think this is a team, if you're showing up to a series with Mercs on, I understand it's funny, and it is, but it's a mentality, and it reveals a certain mentality that you're not taking it seriously. Like, I don't think Program's ever going to show up to a game in a Merc. I don't think Monk. I mean Monk might, because he might. But what I'm saying is I don't think Chase ever will show up to a game in a Merc again. What I'm saying is the players that take it seriously are the ones that are actually going to end up winning the matches and winning everything at the end of the day, right? So I think the Landers, if you take this series more seriously, maybe you do win it. Maybe it doesn't even get to a point where the elite figure it out. So to me, more focus, take it more serious. They'll continue to improve. This is a playoff caliber team, absolutely. My second point is I think Zach has more to give. I think Zach can be a better player. I was expecting more of him in general this season, but I know that there's a lot of time left, and I think that he's got more to give there. I'm going to leave it at that. I think he can play better.
I mean, sure, yeah. And I mean, I think my list is going to kind of follow your order, but I have Elite here at 7. And talking about that same series, I think, in week 1, the Elite had a rough showing, but in week 2, that series against the Landers, they showed out. I mean, they found the chemistry there a little bit. And I do think still at the end of the day, it's Under that's really contributing to that team. I think he's making plays, but he didn't have a bad series at all. And I think,
Yeah.
I think Elite they proved like a Landers. I haven't been high on the Landers, but at the same time, this league is really stacked, so it's not like they're a bad team. And I think it was a good. I mean, it was a good performance from the Landers, but again, you're not taking it serious. So Elite, they're gonna find themselves in the number 7 spot, but it's still a question mark for me. Can they continue? Was week 1 a fluke or was week 2 a fluke? That's how you have to look at it.
True.
You know, like which one was the fluke week? But as we continue on, who's in your 8?
My 8 spot is going to be the Bandits. Now, here's my reasoning for this. Is I have the Bandits moving up 2 spots into 8. And also I had Elite moving up 2 spots and Landers moving down 2 spots. Just forgot to mention that. But the Bandits, they move up 2 spots. Here's why. They're a top 4 team on paper. They need to put it together. And they are starting to. This week, they made a layup. Right? When you're playing the Stars this season, unfortunately, that's a layup. That's a shot that you can't miss. You got it, and it was clean. It was 4-0. They look good. Stars didn't look very good. And that's a series we expected them to win. They should have won, and they did win it. So, not exactly going to blow people away, but they got the job done. I think that's the important thing. Because you can look at it as, okay, are we going to be like the Fire in week 1 and take a team that we should be beating to 7? Are we going to be the Bobcats in week 2? Take a team we should be beating to 7. No, you're going to sweep them. What do the Eradicators do when they play a lesser team? They sweep them, right? So I think
That's
that's
the
the difference.
stars.
I think that's the difference maker is you got the job done, and that's all that they can do. And they're 1-1 now. And again, on paper, top 4 team, MMR. They have the capabilities. They got to keep improving.
Sure. I mean, you can say whatever you want about them sweeping the stars, but that's like I don't even
They
know,
made the
bro.
layup,
It's like
Chase. They made the
it's
layup.
literally taking baby from a candy, but
Taking
sure.
baby from a candy. What?
Yeah, end the
Bro's
stream,
bro's
bro.
still in that private match from last night. What in the world?
End the stream, bro. End the stream. No.
Who you got at
In my
8?
number 8, I got the Landers. I think kind of the same reasoning. I mean, it's not like I have a lot to say here. I still think we can see more from Zach. I still think the Landers need to find their actual identity.
Yeah,
But I still
for
think
sure.
they haven't like you could correct me if I'm wrong. I think they've moved up only once from 9 to 8 on my list, but like maybe they were at 7. I don't know what my other list was, but they haven't moved from the 9 to 7 range. That's and it's
Yeah.
and it's continuing to be that. I think and hear me out here. I think the Landers team is their identity from what we've seen these first 2 weeks is they are a perfect fit for the term mid. I think they are a
That's
mid team.
crazy. That's
Um,
crazy.
but they still have more to prove, so we'll see more out of the Landers. But as of right
Yeah.
now, they are 8.
Okay. Yeah, in my 9 spot, I have the Riot, and this is a good team in disguise. This is a good team in disguise. I I don't think anyone remembers this team exists at this stage in the season. And I have them here at 9, and they're 0-2, and it's really hard. So they stay at 9 for me. They haven't moved anywhere. And for me, they're better than their record. They've had a tough schedule. They've had a really tough
Wait, the
schedule.
Riot?
The Riot have had a tough schedule. They played the Eradicators in week
Hold on.
1, and they just played Quantum in week 2. Okay? So that's my number 1 and my number 5 teams. That's your number 2 and number 5 teams. So you're playing really good competition. The Quantum are probably going to keep winning games. They're probably going to try and push for a top 2 seed. So it's two series where you're playing better competition. And if you notice, Chase, what happened when the Riot played the Eradicators, they didn't get swept. Now, they didn't even just take it to 5. They took 2 games off of them, which has been the most success anyone has had. Or, I'm sorry, they took 1 game off of the Eradicators, which is, honestly, it's the most success anyone's had so far this season. And I think it counts for something. And then in week 2, that's where they took the Quantum to 6 games. I don't think they're an amazing team. I think they're the best of the rest right now. That's where I have them at. So, as far as the teams that are struggling currently to put wins up on the board, I think they're the best of those teams.
Sure. I mean, Riot, they'd have played against tough competition, but at my number 9, I think it's kind of the same reasoning with you. I have the Bandits here now, and I think this is the team, in my opinion, that's the best of the bottom. And I think the Bandits, they have the potential, they have the MMR, on paper. And yes, they've played weaker competition, but I think they're going to find their way. There's something about that team that, like, how can it fail, And I think this Bandits team still yet they're not number 9. They're not like they haven't done much, but this is a team that they're the best of the bottom in my opinion, and they can and they have the potential. So we'll see. We'll have to see more out of them. But who's in your 10? Who's the bottom 3?
At my 10, I have the Amigos, and this is
8,
definitely
bro. That's
this is
crazy.
definitely where we differ. Okay, this is definitely where we differ. For me, I'm looking at it as all right, sure, you didn't play with your starting roster in week 1, but you took a team to 7 games, and for me, that was great. That was phenomenal, and for me, I had them 4 spots higher. They dropped 4 spots for me. They were, I believe, at my 6th spot last week. And here's the reason why I dropped them so far down. Is because when you start working up the order, there are some really nice positive signs that you see from the Riot, that you see from the Bandits. They just got to win. They see from the Landers. There's positive signs from the Elite. I have absolutely zero positive signs from the Amigos. They got their ass kicked, respectfully, against the Eradicators. They did. They did. They got destroyed, and that's with their starters. I don't care if it's your first time playing. I understand the Bobcats, they struggled their first time playing. They got the job done. Obviously, you can't compare the number 1 and number 12 teams. You can't do it. But the point being is you made mention to it, get a hand up. There was no hand up. They raised their hand to excuse themselves from the series. That's what happened. Okay? This is, as it stands right now, is not a good team. On paper they are, but every team ahead of them, there are signs that are like, okay, this is a positive thing. They're trending upwards. This is not a team that's trending upwards as it stands right now. They have a lot of season left and a lot of runway left to change that. But this is a team that they're going to need to change my mind.
I will say you got to look at their competition. They play against the Fire, Eradicators, and Volts back to back to back. That is crazy.
They're going to get it out of the way. I don't think the Fire in week 1 are the Fire today either. I think that was a much worse Fire team. That was Chase at the worst we've ever seen him, and that was Gara, a player that they just paid a draft pick to ship him off to be the Riot's bench rider. You know what I mean? So I don't necessarily think that they should degrade in quality after improving on paper. That's where I have the issue for myself. But yeah, that's why I have them there.
Yeah, that's fair. Just say you're mad that Caleb hasn't gotten any of the replays yet, bro.
No, I am mad. But here, Chase, I'll leave you with this. If they were a top 6 team, Quantum would take at least a game or 2 off of the Eradicators or Volts. They would. Absolutely, they would. I'll say that with confidence today. The Elite, I think, would take a game or 2 off the Eradicators and Volts. I don't think the Amigos will take a game or 2 off the Volts in their current that's what I'm looking for, in their how they are currently. They didn't take a single game off the Eradicators. It wasn't really close. Monk scored, I think, 20 goals in that series, from what I heard. It was unbelievable, and that was in 4 games. That just cannot happen. It cannot happen.
It's true, it cannot happen, but it's either a good day for the Eradicators or a bad day for the Amigos. So we'll just see how it turns out. We still haven't seen much of that. We haven't seen the full Amigos team on stream yet, so maybe we will this week. But as we get into my number 10 spot, I have the Defenders here.
Respect.
I think it's just pure out of respect. They played against a top 4 team, and they brought them to Game 7. They had a great showing. Obviously, 10-1 speaks numbers, but at the same time, when you lose by 8-1 in the last game, that also speaks numbers. So
yeah.
Defenders, they find themselves in the 10th spot here, but there is rumors that maybe they get a lot better here coming up in week 3. We'll talk about that if it does happen, who knows. But in week 3, keep an eye on the Defenders. There are some sneaky rumors coming out, so we'll see about them, but they're number 10 right now. Who's in your 11?
And my 11's going to look a little bit similar. I got the Defenders, and in my heart of hearts, I wanted to put the Defenders where the Riot are. I just have zero justification to move them up 3 spots because they lost again. I talk about quality wins, and usually I hate when people say that, but this is a team with the 2 most quality losses is what I meant to say, quality losses. 2 of the most quality losses this season so far. I mean, you're going to 7 games against 2 top 4 teams, right? You got the number 3 and number 4 team on your plate to start the season. It's hard. And not only that, they've lost their manager. The roster has been a big question mark. And I think for me, they've been nothing short of impressive for the situation they've been in. I think they have a potential to be the best of the 0-2 teams. I know that's not exactly what you want to hear, but I'm going to say it now, Chase. They have proven that they have the capabilities of beating and getting really close to beating good teams. So to me, I think there's a chance we see this Defenders team beat up on all of the other 0-2 teams, maybe some of the struggling 1-1 teams. They catch them on a bad week. And the Defenders are, to me, a dark horse to sneak into a playoff spot by the end of the season. I know it's crazy to say that when I have them at 11, but I think they've proven that they can get really close against good teams. They just can't get over the hump and finish it off. So Yeah, they took both series to 7, but they've got to finish.
Pay respect, but at my number 11, I have the Riot, and I know you mentioned that to me this was criminally low, but at the same time, what have the Riot done other than lose? And sure, maybe you take 2 games off Quantum, top 5 team. Maybe
Yeah.
you take a game off the Eradicators, but I mean, we all saw the stream against the Eradicator. I mean, Monk was not really trying, and I mean, you look at that all you want. It was said itself. Eradicators were kind of trolling in week 1. You still lose it in 5. Quantum, sure, you take 2 games off, but at the same time, we saw just pure. I mean, maybe there's just like mentality problems on that team, but they're over here complaining about the map 24/7. And I feel like, when you're a team that's just complaining a lot, it's almost like you're thinking that it's going against you, right? And that's not what good teams do. Good teams find a way to get around things, and I think this Riot team just they're 0-2. They haven't done much. They haven't shown much. And I think we've seen maybe like a spark or two here from Psycho and Geegan, both players, but they can't put it together, and they're just still finding ways to lose games badly. And um, I think like again, one of the wins they had against Quantum, they stole it just based off a pure mistake,
Mm.
and it's not like they deserve to win that game. So,
Oh,
in my opinion, they're
wow.
here. They're found at 11. I think they still have a lot to prove if they're gonna be a good team.
Yeah, fair enough.
And then 12,
We got the
I'm
same
not even gonna
12,
have to
so
hear your 12.
we're just gonna reveal it, bro. There's not much to say
The
here.
garbage time, bro. God, I hate this team so much.
Chill, son.
But Stars, just let's look at the numbers real quick. In that series, they literally got swept. Not only that, they lost 6-0, 6-0, or 6-1, 5-1, 5-4. So I mean, like the first game was 5-4, by the way. So it's like the teams were filling each other out. It didn't
Yeah.
even matter. Like this Stars team is just sorry. I love K Dogs. Don't get me wrong. I've said it before, but this team is just horrible. I don't know what's going on. They
Yeah.
they are tanking for that lottery pick, but I mean, there's not like I don't even know what you could say that's different for me. So
Here's what I'll say. They need to lock in 2 consistent starters to start developing some chemistry. The season's not down the toilet yet, but it's getting really, really close. You got to lock in. Um, I'll say this: availability is the best ability, and I'll leave it at that.
fair. I mean, all right. Well, the Stars they're at number 12. No surprise there.
Yep.
But I think we have something a little fun planned. We can kind of skim through it because we already went through our power rankings. But
Yep.
if you don't mind sharing your screen so I can also watch.
Of course.
Let's go ahead. We have a little graph. We're gonna rank these teams in a tier list.
Yep.
So we just did our power rankings, but we're actually gonna kind of deep dive. We can now. You can almost imagine you have your list 1 through 12.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna kind of cut lines through those numbers
Yeah.
and then kind of just put them in a category here. So if you guys, at home, I don't know how you can do this, but
We'll
if you
send
wanna
out a
go ahead
link.
and,
We're gonna set. So after the stream's over, I'll be sending a link to this,
just
tier list.
do your own thing. Do your own thing.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys can make your own tier list. If you want to have your own tiers, you definitely can for sure. So
Just put.
yeah, just like
Yeah.
this, we already have the tier list here. I think it should be created now. So
Perfect.
yeah, so after it's all said and done, we'll get this to you guys, and you can do your own stuff with it.
Do it. But as we go in here, Ashton, let's go ahead and
Amigos.
let's go ahead and talk about the Amigos. Now, this is of course the biggest one
this
that
is the
we debated
debate.
on.
Oh yeah,
But in my opinion,
bubble
I
team.
don't.
Is a bubble team, and you can't tell me they're a playoff contender because they are 0-2. They sit at the bottom of the standings. They've proven nothing. They've earned nothing. To me, this is a team that they're going to be lucky to be in playoff contention in a couple weeks at the rate that they're playing. To me, they're in bubble team and they're weak there.
I think they're. I would say they're weak in playoff contender, but they're strong in bubble team. I think, even though they're my number 6, I still think I would be fine putting them in bubble team just because, like you said, you can't argue against the facts. They're 0-2. They didn't have a bad loss in week 1, but it still wasn't strong. And
Yeah.
week 2 they did not do well. So what we can throw them in bubble team for now, but
That's got to
just
be
know
what it
that
is.
they're not lottery hopeful by no
No,
means.
definitely not. Yeah.
Well, all right. So
Bandits.
Bandits. Now we talk about Bandits. I think this Bandits team is. I think they're a bubble team. I do think they have that potential, right? They're at my number 9 spot, but I think they have the upside potential of the MMR. They just have to work together.
Yeah. Yeah, to me, they're a bubble team. Again, on paper, they should probably be cup caliber, but they're not proving it, and that's the problem right now. Is they need to be a little bit more consistent. They need to prove it, but they have everything to be capable of it. So yeah, I think
Fair
they're
enough.
good. I'm good with them at bubble team for now.
Yeah, and as we move on, let's Bobcats here.
I,
Playoff contender?
I'm
I think
thinking
that's I think
playoff
that's
contender.
safe.
Yeah,
I'm thinking that's safe. That
they've
they
done
haven't
nothing
done
to prove cup caliber at this point.
yeah,
Yeah,
and they're a strong team. So we'll have to. I mean, this is just like enough said. They're a strong team. They've had a decent. I mean, they had a rough showing, but
yeah.
they didn't do wrong. So and now the defenders. This is one where I'm gonna still put them.
I would put them
Mm,
at the edge of bubble team. To me, they are the very edge of bubble team. I think there's only I think there's only one lottery hopeful team right now, personally. But if you want to make a case for lottery hopeful, I'll put them in there with you.
I mean, the only case I have is that. Nah, we'll put them in bubble team. They had a good showing against the Bobcats. They are on the edge of bubble team though. We'll throw them in bubble
I
team.
agree
I
with
think
you.
that's fair.
All right, elite. What do you think?
Um, I think elite. I think they're on the. So you can't have that many cup caliber teams and playoff contenders, but
Well, there's six
at the same
playoff
time,
teams, so you
there's
can.
6 playoff teams, so you can't really like throw them at the question mark here. I'm going to like the Amigos would be near my playoff contender, but now that they're in the bubble team, I just all right. We'll throw elite. I think elite is a playoff contender. I think if they
They're
find, I
lower
think
end
under
playoff contender,
they're
but yeah,
lower end. But when you look at the overall team, right? This is just a huge question mark. Which week was the fluke week?
yeah.
And they looked okay here in week 2, and I think the difference between the Amigos and elite for us is making this list hard, but we'll throw them in playoff contender for now.
Yeah. All right, Eradicators. Do we just have a consensus here?
Yeah. This is come on. You got to throw it up there.
Yeah, that's a good
Echo
team.
brings his team back to the finals. He couldn't write a script better.
He's got to win it this time.
He's got to win it. Yeah, I know.
Shout out to Mike
Well,
Spike, by the way. If you're out there, Mike,
Jesus.
shout out.
Mikey. Dear God.
That's Echo's
Sorry,
old
he's a
teammate from
legend.
season 6 when they made a run to the finals. All right, Fire, playoff contender
This
for
is
me.
I mean,
They're
are
playoff
we doing
contender.
two? Are we doing two caliber teams, or are we doing 3?
In my head, there are only 2 cup caliber teams. To me, I'm putting this where they are. Like there can be like 6 cup caliber teams in theory. There aren't, but there could be. I don't think we need to set any like limits.
Yeah, I guess you could say from the showing right now, throw them in playoff contender.
Yeah, I think.
But
But where would you put
that's
them
not
between
that.
I think right now they're between Elite and Bobcats. Whether or not
No,
they're
right
here,
now they're the strongest playoff contender.
I will agree with you only
If
because
we had a tier list of
yeah.
playoff lock, they would be locked.
So myself personally, I have the Bobcats over the Fire, but that again is semantics. So I'll let you have this one because I put the Bandits over the Amigo. I'll let you have this one.
I would throw the Amigos ahead of the Bandits real quick, bro.
I gave
Come
you
on.
one. You can have one. You can either have the Bobcats over the Fire, or you can have the Amigos over the
I
Bandits.
gave you the Elite and the Bandits, bro.
What
Come
you
on, man.
mean, bro? You didn't give me nothing. Come on. You put them where they rightfully are.
All right, whatever. Let's go to the Landers. We'll keep it how it is. I think the Landers they're a mid-tier bubble team. I think that's reasonable.
Okay. Like
I mean, are we wrong?
to me, I would have
They're
the
mid.
Landers above the Bandits for me.
I would too, but again, you have the Amigos in here for me, and I don't think the Landers have done better than the Amigos. But
They have. They've won a game. They've won a series.
who'd they play in week 1?
Week 1, the
The
Landers
Defenders. They went to
defeated the
Game 7 against
Defenders.
the Defenders. Okay, you know
A
what?
win's
All
a
right.
win, son.
We'll throw them. I think that's fine. I think that's fair. We'll throw them there.
A win
now.
is a win. Quantum.
Quantum. This got to be a playoff contender.
I mean, yeah, for me, playoff contender, I would have them between Elite and Bobcats. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. I
think that's a very valid place. Now the Riot. Dude, I think they're at the bottom for lottery hopeful, dude.
I want them to be a bubble team really badly, and myself personally, I think that they're a bubble team. I don't know. I think at the moment it's bad.
Where's the back it up?
It's bad right now. At least the Defenders are taking teams to 7. Like I think the Riot are a better team, like slightly, but I've given you some leeway, so I'll give you some back. Or you've given me some. I'll give you some back.
Well, is there any way we can just like?
Oh, they need their own tier. We gotta have the Stars tier.
Yeah. Please make a Stars tier.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought this was gonna be the Stars tier, but
no.
And then,
well, okay. No disrespect to the Riot, bro. You do not deserve to be in the same ranking as the Stars.
Bro, should we move them up to Bubble Team? Is that what it is?
No.
I think bro, this looks nice. Come on, this looks nice right here.
All right. It's just the only reason why they're a bubble team is their logo is nice.
But I mean, you can't put them in the same conversation with the Stars right now. You just can't. You're
kind of right, but they're lottery hopeful, but the Stars should just be lottery.
Because I think the Stars are the only team that genuinely I don't think I can name a single thing that's gone well for the Stars this season. At least the Riot, you're gonna be like, okay, you took the Eradicators to overtime, you took a game off them, and then you just took who'd they take Quantum to 6? Like, I mean, I feel like the Riot, they're like, okay, yeah, that's pretty good. At least they have a couple of things to write home about. The Stars don't. Even when it was straight up luck, they lost not 4 or 5 coin flips in a row. Because I did another one because I was like, okay, surely this must be broken. It took a 6th coin flip for them to win it. They can't even win the coin flip, dude.
They can't win the coin flip.
They can't even win the coin flip. They didn't take a single game in real life or in the coin flip, bro. It was bad.
I love when the Stars, everything goes wrong for the Stars.
Chill,
God, I hate that franchise.
Chill, son.
All right, well, let's
I'm happy with this if
Volts,
you are.
And then the Volts with the cup count. I mean, that's no brainer. Yeah. So that is me and Ashton's week 3 tier list. We'll probably do this every 3 weeks. I think that's a fair way to do that.
Hey, shout out to the Discord here. We're popping it in there.
Yes, sir. But hey, honestly, pretty valid tier ranking. And as we move forward, we have one more thing we'd like to talk about on this podcast, and of course, weekly predictions. We have the week 3 schedule here.
Yes, sir.
Let's go ahead and briefly review this. I'll start us off with the first match. You go into the second match, and I'll do the third. Back and forth. So we talk about Fire Landers here. Maybe you should have gone first. Let's do that.
Oh, that's fine. Do you want me to do my prediction first? Okay. So,
do your prediction first.
For me, Fire Landers, they're playing week 3. That'll be happening later tonight. I'm excited for it because here's the thing, as I said, Fire improve a lot. The Landers, they need more focus. They need to troll a little bit less for their own sake. But I don't think it's going to help them overcome the Fire. I think the Fire, Chase has been improving slowly but surely. He just got a new teammate. There could be a little bit there, but for me, I think the Fire, they're going to pull through. I think they're going to win this. I just think they're the better team. Even if it takes a scrappy 7-game series, I think Chase is going to find a way.
Yeah, pretty valid. I have Fire winning. Enough said. That's all I'm going to say. Gotta be humble here. But as we move on to the Elite Bobcats, thank you for the rundown of the Ashton.
Yes, sir.
Elite Bobcats, this is an interesting one. I think this is probably matchup of the week. I think this is going to be either this or Firelanders, but I think this is the matchup of the week. Yeah. All right. Uh, I think this is where we see the true potential of the Bobcats and Elite. I think this is a win-win situation for both teams. Um, both of these teams are inconsistent, right? But at the end of the day, I think the Bobcats just have the better roster.
Okay.
On if both teams are playing how they should, this should be a Bobcats win in like 6. So I'm gonna take the Bobcats here, but not comfortably.
I think it's my own team, but I think the Bobcats are a week behind. I have the Elite taking this. I think it's going to go the distance. I think it's going to go 6 or 7 games, and it's going to be a good series. To me, the Bobcats' sluggish start last week, they should win this game. They should. I don't think they will. I think the Bobcats need a little bit of a wake-up call on their roster. That like, oh, there's some good teams out here. You can't just call everyone free and then take the defenders to 7. You know what I mean?
Can I throw in a hot take real quick?
Sure, go for it.
Just going on with your
Yeah.
prediction. I still think Whatchgeek has bust potential. I think this dude has not showed up for his 1800 rated MMR. I mean, you're looking at like I can vividly remember right now the open nets that he like basically trolled on.
But he did.
I knew you were. I think this is Under's team. I still think WatchG has a lot to prove. And again, this is no shade at him. It's just we haven't seen anything out of him. So I mean, obviously you do your thing, but I don't see how this Elite team, unless he's playing good, I don't see how this Elite team.
I also want to say to all those watching that I had to just come up with an excuse. I don't like picking my team. If my team has a chance of losing, I always pick against them. That way,
this is true.
That way, either my team wins or I was right in the prediction. So it's a little bit of a win-win. It's like when you go bet against your own team, you like throw $20 on the other team. You're like either I pay $20 for my team to win or I get a little bit of cash. That's what this situation is. Okay.
Yeah, but enough said. I think this is the matchup of a week. You have the Elite only for that reason. I have the Bobcats in 6. I think this is going to be a good matchup. So make sure you tune in for that one. Yep. But now we move on. Amigos, Volts. The Volts sweep?
I mean, should I reveal both of our picks, bro? It's the Volts, bro.
It's the Volts, but
it's probably a sweep.
If we're talking sweep, I think the Amigos have a chance to take one game.
It's a sweep, son.
I'm gonna say 5. I'm gonna say 5 games. I'm gonna be a little different, but
I'm gonna say it's a sweep. I mean, I know it's hard to hold it to. It is really hard to sweep a team because usually they just genuinely find a way to win at least one of the games, right? But I think they're gonna do it, dude.
My dog just said Volts in 5.
Well,
thank you.
Tell Cooper he's a war criminal.
Okay. Next matchup here we have. Oh god. We will not be streaming this for the sake of everybody's eyes.
Great matchup, by the way.
Yeah, great matchup. This is gonna determine the lottery, but I feel like the Riot
actually.
The Riot are going to sweep the Stars. Too.
Oh, okay. So there's levels to the poverty. There's levels to the poverty.
There's levels to poverty, but I also just hate this franchise, dude. Stars. I don't think the Stars are gonna win a single game this season. That's my hot take. They're not even in the coin flip, bro. They can't even win a game.
Yeah,
it's over for the Stars. They're not gonna win a single game this season.
That's so bad, dude. I think they might squeeze in a win somewhere.
Nope. Riot sweep.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, I have the Riot winning too. I think it'll probably be in like 5 or 6. I don't think the Stars are that bad. They just like. I don't think they care.
Yeah, you don't think they're that bad?
I just don't think they care. There's 3 players on that roster, and if you look at how they've been trying to schedule their matches, it's basically like as long as 2 of the 3 of them show up, it's like a miracle. So it's like I feel like if they can lock down 2 starters, bro, I feel like they're not that bad. They're not that bad. But the Riot are gonna win for sure, no question.
Anyways, moving on from poverty franchises. Let's look at
another great match here, by the way.
Another great matchup, but at the same time, it's probably not going to be as close as we think.
No, it's a big test for Quantum, but you never know.
It's a big test for Eradicators, too, when you think about it, because who have the Eradicators played?
Nobody.
I mean, they played the Amigos on a rough day, and then they played Riot. So, I mean, this might be a pretty big test for Monk because when you think about it, yes, this dude's RLCS, yes, this dude is good, but 2v1 is a different game. It's a whole different game, and I think if you're Monk, it just all comes
Bro,
down.
you're saying Echo is not a factor. The guy who scored the 0 hero in week 1.
Hey, bro, just
That's what you're saying right
come
now.
on. Shout out Echo.
Come on, dude.
Love that dude. But no, this is a big test for both teams. But I do think Eradicators take it in 6.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I think the Eradicators are going to win as well. I have them winning it. What are they going to take it in? I really don't know what the levels are to this. Like, how far separated are the Eradicators? Could the Quantum actually come in here and win this game? Who knows? Who knows?
You know, low key, I don't know. Do I have a power to switch it?
Do you want to switch it?
Hold on.
That would be insane. I feel like I have to like be your voice of reason right now. I gotta be your voice of reason. I don't think the Eradicators are gonna lose. I really don't.
Okay. All right. I want to.
If they're gonna lose, it's probably to the Volts, right?
I'm not gonna bet against the Eradicators until I have a reason to.
That's where I am basically. Yeah.
I'm going to pick the Eradicators, but just so you know, my heart is telling me. My mind is telling me to go with the Eradicators. Okay. My heart is telling me to go with Quantum.
Okay. So, all right. Fair enough.
But I will choose the Eradicators just as one time. Yeah. Okay. And then our last matchup.
What do you got?
Defenders, Bandits. This is honestly, it's gonna be kind of an interesting game. I think this is the battle of the bottom.
Battle of mid is what this is. I think battle of bottom is Stars and Rye. This is the battle of mid.
We got the battle of bottom and battle of mid this week, bro. That's awesome. But yeah, no, I think this is interesting. I think if the Bandits can figure it out, this should be theirs.
Yeah.
I think, and with the potential I think they have, and I do think they're coming off a good win last week against Disgusting. We're gonna go Bandits. I think I'm going to take the Bandits in 5. I think it should be close, but I think the Bandits are just going to find a rhythm early. I just have this weird feeling. I'm being really specific. Yeah. I think they're going to find something there in game 2 where they're just like, okay, we got this. And then they just take it in 5.
Okay. I got that respect. Top 10 respect moments. I'm usually one to agree with you. But Janky, I hope you're listening. Give me the Defenders. Give me the Defenders. In 6 or 7 games, Defenders are going to win. I have the upset. I'm calling it right now. Defenders, they get their first win of the season against the Bandits. The Bandits underestimate them. They don't see them coming. And they're going to win the game. They're going to win the game. They're going to win the series. I have the Defenders.
I love the take. I think it's a good time to bring up the upset alert. It very well could happen, but at the same time, it all depends on seeing it on the pitch. And with all these games, I don't know which ones are 100% confirmed. I do know we do have some games. We do have some games for today before we go.
Firelanders are the only ones confirmed for today. There's a lot of other ones that are like pretty there are some solid ones later in the week, but so far tonight, only game confirmed is Firelanders, 9 p.m. on stream tonight.
And hey, that might be matchup of the week.
Could be.
So tune into that. It's at 9 p.m. again, so make sure you're there to be in that stream. But as for RLSA today, episode 3, I believe that's all we have in store. Obviously, power rankings, go ahead and make your own tier ranking. We'd love to see him. Post them in the general Discord. But at the end of the day, that's going to wrap it up here for the podcast. So thank you all so much for the support recently, too. Much appreciated. But also for tuning in here. Make sure every week you stop by. We will hopefully be giving you a podcast episode. Catching up on the last week. Talking about this week. Talking about the teams. What happens. What goes on. Talking about the RLSA. So... you know the gist by now, but thank you all for tuning in today, and see you guys at 9 p.m. with another presentation. So have a good one, guys.
Bye.